Hello, East Tennessee, and welcome to this Wrestle Talk exclusive. And tonight we're celebrating 15 episodes with Jackson Black. And what a program we have coming your way here tonight. And that's right, 15 episodes since Jackson Black came aboard. And joining us tonight is a very special guest here. All the way on the end, we have the ever-popular, my friend and yours, Mr. Dave Jones.
Arg.
Dave, good evening and welcome to this very special Wrestle Talk exclusive tonight.
Well, thank you for having me there. And Jackson, thanks for being around for 15 whole episodes. I think I ought to go for 16.
No, I quit.
Oh,
Take it away from them right as they want it.
oh you know it. No, man, it's great. And thanks for having me. And this guy, talk about him.
Well, fans, we're also joined tonight. It's a great honor and privilege, by the way, to be joined by wrestling legend and one of the greats here in the East Tennessee area, the great Tom the Bomb Pittner. Now, I've been told not to call you the Bomb too often, but you are the Bomb, and we're glad you're here tonight.
Well, I'm glad you had me out tonight. It's my pleasure to come down and be with you guys.
Thank you so much. And, of course, we're joined here by
that guy,
long-time nemesis of Jackson Black, and that's Andy Optimal.
Hey, we're not nemesis.
Not anymore.
Not for right now, at least.
Not for now.
But, Andy, welcome to the program tonight.
Thanks for having me.
And folks, we're also joined by Insane Dane, and check out these wrestling boots, and very interesting.
Yep.
And these guys here have developed a friendship over the recent months, and they are the friends. But welcome to the show, Insane Dane.
Thank you for having me back. It's good to be here.
And we appreciate all of you being here tonight. Fans, join us for the next 75 minutes as we will be celebrating Jackson Black. And Jackson Black, over the past few months, you've been spotlighting a lot of talent, but tonight we spotlight you, and we thank you
so fancy
for that opportunity. And fans, we'll tell you a little bit how this is going to go tonight. So we will have a very special segment to begin with here in just a few moments, and it's the roast of Jackson Black. And I don't know if you've seen...
It's a bad idea.
And I don't know if you've seen any roast or not, Jackson.
Yeah, I know how to work, and I'm going to leave out the last part. Because I'm not going to roast anybody back. I just want to hear what you got. And if I think it's funny, I might just give it back to you right then.
Absolutely. And then, of course, Jackson Black will roast all of us, or at least try.
Maybe not. Maybe just knee-jerk reactions right when you say it, because that's the best.
You're going to have a hard time finding some things on Dave, I think.
He's a pirate.
He's a pirate.
That's it.
Well, fans, what an exciting night we're going to have for you right here on Wrestle Talk, this very special exclusive. By the way, a special shout-out to those joining us, on the means of the Internet, Facebook, and YouTube. And what a night it's going to be. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we will begin this very special exclusive interview with Jackson Black, celebrating 15 episodes. And we'll be back in just a moment, right here on Wrestle Talk. Welcome back here to Wrestle Talk in this very special exclusive, and the man of the hour is here, and that's Jackson Black. Jackson, good evening, welcome, of course, by the way, here to Pop Culture Autographs and Collectibles in Kimberly and Heights and Knoxville, and welcome to your celebration. How's it going tonight?
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Very good. Well, fans, we're going to get started tonight, and each of the individuals here on the panel have been asked to roast Jackson Black, and I think this will be pretty interesting. The way this interview is going to go tonight, uncensored, uncut, off the chain. Usually on TV, off the chain, big time. Usually on TV, we're a little bit scripted, a little bit formatted, but the formats are out the window, and we're going to have a big time. Guys, we'll open it up to you tonight, and I think that the one that has the most in mind here, it looks like, is Insane Dane. So we're going to start things out with it, not unless you want Andy Optimal.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start us off.
Yes.
All right. Jackson, we met about a year ago in a Battle Royal match.
Yep.
And you hit as hard as then as you do now. There's no difference.
Yeah, no,
Very weak, like a girl.
Oh.
Like a baby.
Hey, dude, you can't be leaving people out. Like a girl is not a cool statement anymore. They hit hard still. Unlike you.
Oh my.
It's not even... Okay.
No. He's jocking my hairstyle over there, too. Sick of this. Everywhere I go, everybody has the same, trying to copy me. Sick of it. You can keep it like that, but don't cut the sides off.
You've had the same hairstyle for a year, and it still looks trash.
Oh.
Come on, Jackson.
Adam, calm
Switch
down.
it up.
Calm down, Adam.
Uh-oh, we're getting real names out here now.
His name's not Adam.
Is that
Name's not Adam.
It's not Adam. Oh. I accidentally called you Adam a couple
That's
of
because
times.
I started calling him that.
Yes.
Andy Optimum.
Andy Optimum, yes. All right, I guess I will go next. Man alive, Jackson Black
Man alive.
came aboard Wrestle Talk 3 episodes in, and we had Paul Buchanan, Tennessee Legacy Wrestling.
That guy talks a lot.
And we also had Tony Covington, which our friend back here, real familiar with.
Not
Tony.
bad. I liked him. He's cool.
And Jackson Black showed up.
I said 4 words.
On television. He looked like an altar boy. Had
Without the bad side story.
He looked like had a vest on and a tie, and he had these the strangest. No, you didn't have a tie. You had a vest.
Had a vest.
A vest, and you had on these shoes that were absolutely just outrageous. And he was so quiet the whole time, and I was like, this guy is not good for TV at all. Like this is the most boring guy I've ever seen in my life. But Jackson Black, man, he really turned things around though, and I don't know about this hair, but there's something different going on every week. It seems like one week we had braids.
Yeah, you're right. You did.
And I don't know who does those braids for you.
Can't tell you that.
Yeah, they should try a little bit better
Ooh.
in the future.
You just wish you could have hair that could be braided.
Yeah. The beard's gotten a little darker over the past few weeks too. It seems
I don't know what
like.
happened there.
But Jackson Black has been amazing. He does know all these names of these wrestlers from AEW, Yoshihiro, something
that
another.
Guy, no, there was not a that's Yoshinoya Beef Bowl. No, that's not what we're talking about.
And I think you make the names up sometimes. I don't know if that's.
No, you just gotta turn TV on, and then sit down, and then read the name as it's announced.
Yes.
And you'll have it.
They're hard names, folks. They
They're
really
not.
are. And
they're not.
Where
They're like a lot of Ishis and stuff in there. It's really easy.
And I want to know where in the world you got these button-up shirts that said drip and all this mess. I mean, it was just like you're on
From Fantastic Places.
From Fantastic Places, and he's been into this whole gimmick of
Gimmick. It's not a gimmick if you live it.
A jacket and a legendary wrestler shirt.
It doesn't have to be a legendary wrestler.
Yeah. One of these days.
These days it could be somebody else's shirt.
One of these days you're gonna be wearing Insane Dane's shirt because
I'd rock it.
We all know that you're envious of his career, and
I just wish I was taller. That's all it really is.
Oh man, I'm full of them, but
you're full of something.
I think we'll get to Insane Dane has primed up the pump here, so we'll get
primed up the pump.
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
There's a lot to spew out.
Homie, that pump is primed. Okay.
Jackson Black. I mean, we've had a couple matches together, and I think probably all of our opponents could out wrestle you any day.
Oh,
especially when
he's
you're
not lying.
Can I finish, sir?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
It's so rude to interrupt someone.
We're friends, but
I thought we were too until you started putting product in your hair.
Yeah, until you started wearing your sister's tank top, but.
Hey, bro, this is the Krusty Krab, bro. Okay, look at the number.
It's about as crusty as that tattoo from like 1994, but.
It's not 1994. It's like 2005.
When are they gonna finish it? That's the.
Gotta have money to get them finished, boys.
20 years later, you're still looking for the money.
You're right.
Here on WrestleTalk.
I'm still broke. I like your jokes.
Throwing some shade here tonight toward Jackson.
There's no shade. I illuminate the room. I am the center of attention right now, so...
The light is brighter than you, pal.
It's trying. It's trying.
It's done.
You know what you sound like?
What?
The wrestling fans that we wrestle in front of. Stupid.
Wow, you listen to them?
I don't usually.
I just listen to
the cheers.
Then you wouldn't be listening to anything.
Oh, man. Crickets in here. Sheesh. Remember when you had to take all those pictures for me? Because the people didn't want to take a picture with you. They wanted to take a picture with me. I do.
I heard he was just too tall for the camera. That was the only thing.
That is it, too, because he's very tall. He's 6 foot a lot. Envious. I am. When I get my boots, 3-inch lift is going in them, so I can be like 5'11".
Tom the Bomb Pittner.
I have nothing but good things to say.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
Awesome.
Nothing
Have you
but
noticed
good
that
things
all
to
the
say.
wrestlers back in the day are just so much bigger than us? You know what I'm talking. Like, look at this guy.
I was even small in my day. I don't
Okay,
know
but you're
what
bigger than
happened.
me.
I'm not even a fraction of his age, so...
Tom, we ought to have you guys stand up here and see the difference real quick. Let's
Let's see
see.
if it'll be on camera.
Let's see. Here.
See? Solid man. I guess we're like, look at this. This is my picture with everybody. I'm going to start doing the Dr. Tom.
There you go.
It's all right. Some guy stood up on a soapbox when they were doing interviews.
I'm doing that now. It's in my contract. I need like 2 phone books, if they still exist, under my seat when I come in every week now.
And a milk crate, probably.
Well, that's not too much to ask for.
That's not too much to ask.
Dave Jones. Dave Jones was the co-host of Wrestle Talk for just a little while. Him and I did a program on YouTube, which is still available. It's a great program, and Dave Jones, once we begin our special episodes, of course, on TV, Dave, you've been real busy with normal work and things like that for a while. And Dave Jones kind of stepped in. Some people say that Jackson Black kind of took over Dave Jones's spot, and I don't know.
Is that what it was?
Charisma takes over, buddy. I'm sorry.
You know, look,
And you're a pirate, and you got to get on the sea.
I was there. I was there for that first episode. I remember.
It was awful.
It was
It was pretty
4
terrible.
words. I thought it was 3, but.
Okay. It was like 3.5, like that Rex Riley kid's titles. You know how many he had?
Oh.
3.5. I'm throwing shade at you again. Anyways, I digress.
Now, on the good side, he and I have a something. You mentioned Rex Riley and all that. And we got to keep some stuff under wraps.
Yeah, the repugnant, the revolting.
He is, isn't he? Now that's a guy we need to roast that guy someday.
Dude, he couldn't
I got
handle it.
volumes on him.
Don't put Rexy in the corner; he might cry.
That's true. But anyway, episodes 3, 4, and 5, you started building a little bit. Then you had that lull there that kind of hit that midsection. About 8, you started coming back up. So now you're riding high. 15, I think 16, 17, and beyond.
19, I'm taking a dip.
Is it 19?
Mhm.
Some people only have 19.
Now, someone mentioned to me a while back, Dave, that they thought that Jackson Black was the K-Town daddy on air. They thought we were playing an old tape. And we did find an old tape from '97 of Bill Needham and Terry. And they did have a very similar resemblance as well as...
That was the video quality and all the pixels that made you think that, but that was not true. We need the CSI where they do the enhance, and then you could like find your glasses and understand that they're not similar.
You would have to have the phone in there so you could go, cut them off.
That was
I've done the cutoff before. I've done it.
Yeah, we got to do this now, but
that's an idea when Terry used to have the phone right there at the table, and somebody would call in. And if he didn't like them, he'd press the button and cut them off.
I would just give the phone number out on there. That was the best part.
Like I don't want to talk to them, especially people from
I was there when Dave Vogel got the call the next day.
Why?
I don't know.
Do they all just sound the same? Or
Have you ever been to Rockwood?
where's that even at?
See, everybody just drives through it.
Exactly. Yes.
I don't know where it's at. I know that I've seen a sign for it, but they probably have a Blockbuster there.
We were told by someone that the only similarity between Jackson Black and Terry Lindell is their big mouths. So I don't know if that's
Big mouth.
That's it.
True,
I think
but-
you're on something right there.
I just keep talking until something lands. Yeah, I agree. Big mouth it is.
Well, Jackson, we've roasted you for a little while.
No, you haven't. You did like 1, 2. That was terrible.
And
Everybody bought mediocrity to the
we
table.
can really pull out some stuff.
I wouldn't go too bad because my feelings might get hurt and I might leave.
If Dr. Tom, and I'll ask all of you guys this, if Dr. Tom Pritchard were here...
He'd say it's the shits. 100%.
Roasting,
100% he would say it's the shits.
roasting Jackson Black.
I don't want to hear that.
What would he have to say?
Bad stuff.
Bad stuff.
I don't want to hear it.
Well, fans...
Can you channel him? Channel Dr. Tom.
I
there,
can't.
Joel.
I can't do it.
Joel, throw stuff on him. Throw something on him.
That would be interesting. I think that at some point in time we should definitely get an honest opinion from Dr. Tom. So.
I'm good.
I don't know about the whole tripping up the steps at your graduation deal, but
Oh, that's a callback.
yeah.
You know what? And none of those people tried to even like get out of their seats and help me.
Mm-hmm.
You know why?
Mm-mm.
Because they're mid people too.
They're mid people too.
Mid.
Where were you?
Where was that at? That was in Jackson, Tennessee. Another
USA
place that
Championship
I will
Wrestling.
drive past next time.
Now, when this
And that's for you?
happened, Oh, go ahead, Dave. You go ahead.
Is named after him?
Yes, Jackson, Tennessee.
I remember that Jackson.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's why no one's heard of it.
He tripped down the steps. And they began calling it Jackson.
I tripped up the steps. That's a thing.
Tripping up the steps?
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
I'm always falling forward.
Well, fans, it's been interesting so far. We're going to go to a quick break, and when we return, it's Jackson Black's turn to roast all of us here on the panel tonight, and we look forward to it. And that's all coming up when we return right here on the Wrestle Talk exclusive 15 episodes with Jackson Black. Welcome back here to this Wrestle Talk exclusive, and we're here at Pop Culture Autographs and Collectibles located at Kimberlin Heights in Knoxville. By the way, fans, coming up on Wednesday night, August 3rd, we will have a free wrestling event right here, right in front of the parking lot, and we're excited about it. What a great night it's going to be of wrestling action. We're going to have wrestling legends in attendance, including the great Joe Kazana and Insane Dane, not quite the legend, but he'll be in action. You'll be a legend one of these days, and you're currently a little bit of a legend amongst the kiddos, but
Everybody, I'm a legend.
yes, and what a night it's going to be right here in Knoxville. And by the way, Jackson Black, we heard through the grapevine that you have a big match coming up August 3rd, and I know that you know who it is, but we've not released that information yet. But it's going to be a big one. Also in action that night, of course, most of the Wrestle Talk guests that you've seen on air will be a part of this event, and it's going to be exciting. And a special thank you to Michael Janes, Marie Janes here at Pop Culture Autographs and Collectibles for, of course, allowing us to do this very special exclusive. And what a night it's going to be in Knoxville on Wednesday night, August 3rd at 7:30 p.m. It's all free. Bring your chairs out and enjoy wrestling under the stars. 5 big matches coming your way that night, featuring Jackson Black, Insane Dane, Andy Optimal, and then, of course, Damon Stryker. And you have another name for Damon Stryker. And,
Talking about the Seth Damon Stryker.
This Seth Damon. And he looked just like Seth.
He does kind of look like him from like the Indies. Yeah, I can see that.
And he's going to be in action, of course, along with many other stars. And I've been told that Mike Powers and Crazy Bobby B is going to be in a big tag team match that night. And
All things are possible.
could we get Tom the Bomb Pittner out here on August 3rd
It's an exclusive air, sir. Can we get you?
put him on the spot here a little bit?
It's not nice.
It's really hard for me to commit to anything at this present time, but you know, I might just run in the ring on somebody if I don't like what's going
Yes.
on.
Oh yeah.
Well, fans, it's Jackson Black's turn. You know, he took a lot of shade from all of us, and he kind of mentioned when we were off camera, he only has one person to throw shade at, and
I have no. Oh yeah. Oh
who in
yeah.
the world could that person be?
I just feel like saying his name is just giving him too much like. I don't
power,
want
like
like,
Voldemort.
I don't want like yeah. He who shall not be named. But he's held a championship for like 3.5 times, but I didn't know it's possible to hold a half a title.
Well,
he
it's
has
like 3/4 of
3.5 among 3 people. Very. I don't want to talk about him. Okay, no, I'm not going to talk about him. It's not worth my time. I don't want to talk about anybody.
Well, speaking of Rex Riley, he's going to be in
Oh
action.
man, you did it. Why'd
Yes.
you do that?
I know, right? He's going to be in action right here at Pop Culture Autographs and Collectibles on August 3rd, and he's going to have Dr. Connor with him, and
I might come out and beat up Dr. Connor.
just come out and beat up Dr. Connor. And I heard he was a therapist, and I think we all need one of them.
A
But
therapist or like the Saturday Night Live
Definitely not
therapist.
He is a therapist.
The therapist.
Yeah,
So you don't need a
the
therapist.
the bad guy word. Don't do that, guys. You will go to jail.
Well, fans, we're going to jump right into just a huge amount of questions for Jackson Black
This
as
much.
we celebrate tonight 15 episodes of Wrestle Talk Live, and we're going to have each of our panel kind of interact here, and we may not get through all of these, but that's all right, so we'll get through
I'm gonna be boring
most
and
of
just
them.
say yes to everything. No, yes, no, boom, rapid fire.
A special thank you, of course, to Agenda Home Video for recording tonight's event right here at Pop Culture, and all the great staff members. Jeremiah is here tonight as well.
He's doing
And,
stuff, taking selfies.
He's doing great things. Jeremiah, I'm sure he's been around for just a few weeks, and one of these days we'll have to get an opinion from Jeremiah. He's a little bit shy, but
Let's
we'll
roast
find
him.
out. Let's roast her.
I already did that like
He did.
a little bit ago.
All right, Jackson Black, we're gonna go right into it, and all of you guys can jump right in at any time. But Jackson Black, where in the world were you born? Tell us about that.
I am from California. I was born in Long Beach County, but I lived my formative years in Irvine, California, so Orange County, California.
Awesome. And how long was that? Growing up?
I lived there till I was like 21,
Mhm.
and it was great.
So you were born in California?
Oh yeah,
So that's what's wrong, right?
that's what's right. I think you got it wrong.
And when were you born?
Next question.
Next question. He's not, well,
Your
it's
birthday,
hard.
I'll bet.
You know,
Do some research.
I know, right? Well, a lot of folks say that you look younger than most on the program, which could be,
They're lying to you.
yes.
They just want to get on TV.
They just want to get on TV.
So you like California last year? In here?
Sure. No, it's been a
Yes.
while. I've been here for some time. A span of some years.
All
Figured
right.
it out.
You figure out the years. It's on you.
Well, what sports were you involved? I know a lot of wrestlers get questions about sports, athletic background, different things. High school sports. What about?
I just did wrestling in high school, but then I did karate and I did jiu-jitsu and boxing. I did kung fu one time and I got knocked out by a 12-year-old. Bro, that's a hard one. Pretty much like anything grappling. I did karate for a while. So if it turns into a shoot, I gotta know how to fight.
Well, that sounds interesting. Looks like we have a rowdy customer out.
That's my guy!
There he is, man.
Folks, last time we were here, we had this guy. I think it's the same guy. He,
He's
yelled
clout
out
chasing. He's
some-
over there trying to like get in. No, I'm just kidding.
He wants some of this Burger King out here,
That's
I believe.
right, man.
so.
They get that money. They got to go, you know where.
Well, it's Thursday, so we're
Chicken
missing a
house.
day.
Little chicken house. Huh?
Jackson Black, first time ever seeing pro wrestling. Was it on TV? Was it in person?
No, it was on TV. I never went to a show until I was like way older. Way older.
And where was it at, and who was on there?
I want to say it was like Bret Hart, maybe, but like I don't let you know a secret here. I don't really care for Bret Hart. My favorite is Kurt Angle, by far.
That's fair.
And this was way. So when did you actually start watching wrestling?
Oh, probably like right before it turned, like literally probably a month before it turned into like the Attitude Era.
Yes.
I was stuck. I swear, like I say this to everybody, I had PWI posters like from my closet all the way around my room. So many posters.
Were they all mostly the divas, or what was?
Not one.
Not one was the divas.
Not
really?
one.
Oh man.
Not one was a diva. I'm not trying to get in trouble. I was a young kid. Get
So-
beat up. Not really.
Mentioning, of course, watching wrestling. You know, you mentioned Bret Hart, not one of your favorites. From back in the day.
Great worker. I just like kind of fell asleep when he talked.
So, who was the wrestler that attracted you most to watching wrestling? What was someone that you first noticed? Hey, this person stands out. This is awesome. I want to keep up watching this person. You know.
Oh. I don't know. I was probably like all the other kids when it came to like DX and stuff like that. That was such a good time because you had DX and you had the NWA and NWO going too. Oh, that was awesome. It was a good time.
Yes, and you know, out of those mentioned before, you know, you mentioned a moment ago Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle, OG.
And Kurt Angle, the only Olympic gold medalist in professional
Not
wrestling
anymore.
history. And
Not anymore.
who's the other, by the way? There's
Oh,
someone-
Gable Stevenson.
Gable Stevenson. Yeah.
He was signed by WWE.
So what was it about Kurt Angle that kind of stood out to you?
Well, he was like an amateur wrestler, and the evolution of Kurt Angle was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. And they're turning Chad Gable into him too, which is I'm all down for too.
Yes. Well, Kurt Angle certainly one of the best, and definitely agree with you there.
He won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck.
Yes, yes.
It's true.
Well,
it's damn true.
that could be very well. Jackson Black, what was your first wrestling event?
Dude, I swear it
And
was.
as
it
far
was
as attending?
first. It was literally probably like 5 years ago. I didn't go to a show forever. Well, mainly because like they were always like in like Anaheim, where I lived out in California, and that was like or not. They were like in LA, and that was probably like no one wanted to take me to go see wrestling. Is pretty much what it is. But the first one was, I think it was like a WWE house show, or it might have been a Raw. I'm not really sure. I know it was like Kane and Braun Strowman, and I think it was Raw, and they put like John Cena through a table, like through a ladder. That was gnarly. That was a good one.
And John Cena, of course, you mentioned a few times to me. John Cena kind of stands out to you as well. So
Can't go wrong with John Cena.
you can't really see him though. So
I've seen everything he did.
John Cena, certainly one of the greats. Kurt Angle, one of the greats. Kurt Angle, you could throw him into just
Anybody.
about anything.
Anybody, anything. The comedy stuff is so much better though.
Oh yeah.
Like him and Edge, that was the funniest stuff ever. When they were fighting over Edge getting a shampoo deal
Yeah.
in Japan over Kurt Angle, that was the funniest. And you'll see like Dr. Tom in the background of some of these shots wearing like these like pink and purple silk shirts. It's great.
When you think about Dr. Tom and Insane Dame, I want to jump in on this one here. When you think about Dr. Tom training guys like The Rock, training guys like Mark Henry, what runs to your head as you are in this wrestling school with Dr. Tom, knowing that he did all? I mean, what is the things that you're thinking about more often? I guess with as you train, I guess.
I don't know. It's crazy to walk into an environment like that where, I mean, you just look at the walls and you're like, oh, I gotta do a lot better. Because I mean, there's everybody under the sun he's trained.
Yes.
You name it, he's trained them probably. Well, some way.
Tom Pittner came from the days of course, Rick Connors. And
Right.
Rick Connors, we've referred to him a lot recently here on Wrestle Talk with the 25th anniversary, with Joe Kazana, with Chris Powers. There's a big difference training back with in the days of Rick Connors based on now. And what was it like, Tom, in your experience, training with Rick Connors?
I would say it was like going through boot camp.
Yes.
Yeah, but we had a lot of guys drop out that couldn't make the grade. Some of them looked like they were chiseled out of granite, and 15 minutes into it, they're hanging over the ring puking, you know. So, and
Now-
I broke in right about the time he had just trained Doug Furnace, and Furnace is already starting to have matches at the Coliseum and whatnot. They really give him a big push, being supposed to have been the world's strongest man at the time. I think it was his gimmick. But only if you survived. Joe Kazana was one of them that we started training together, and not long after that, Jeff Anderson broke in about the same time, and a host of others along the way.
Now, in your class, I heard there was about 20 individuals that started, but there was only a few, maybe even 2 or 3. Am I correct about that? 2 or
Yeah,
3
I
that was
think-
actually left.
I think it was pretty much me and Joe Kazana.
What made it so intimidating to be in Rick Connors' classes as far as training? And
Trying to escape the sugar hole.
and not the most comfortable atmosphere. It was always blizzering hot, I was told. And the ring itself was one of the old spring-loaded rings.
Actually,
Or is a homemade ring?
It was a wooden ring.
Yeah.
And it actually had like a tree stump or a log up in the middle of it.
Oh gosh, Joe was talking about that.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That sounds like a quite the comfortable ring to bump on, I would imagine.
And it wasn't a canvas. It was like a vinyl mat. So if you really got to sweating, you were going to slide. A lot of good times. There's probably some footage of that laying around somewhere, and I would say Keith Hart's grandfather used to go to Oliver Springs every night that we had a show.
Mr. Hayes.
Mr. Hayes.
Yes.
And there's probably bukus of that stuff somewhere if it hasn't gotten destroyed.
Well, Dr. Tom's school, most certainly, as far as the sweat aspect is concerned, buckets of sweat
Yep,
all the
and
time.
bring your cardio. Bring your cardio because you're going to need it. I mean, you know.
Well, training.
Yes, you do. You ever been the man in the middle? I know you've been the man in the middle. Some 5.55s?
Mm-hmm.
I hated those.
There is one of the guys that was really big in Memphis. They called him Big Boy Williams. His name is Ralph Derryberry, and I hear that
That's
he's
a
not
man.
doing well health-wise, and that hospice has probably been brought in.
Oh, no.
But when Ralph broke in, he broke in at the YMCA downtown, and Garvin is who trained him, and he was a football star. I want to say, I think it was maybe a football star at Central, but he was a big guy. Garvin put him out with a sugar hole. He let him come to, he'd put him out again, let him come to, put him, and he pissed all over himself and crawled out of the building to get away from him, but he come back for more, and he made it and was a pretty big star out in Memphis, as Big Boy Williams.
With all this in mind, training back then and today, I know that you, especially with that very first training session and that time of training, you and Joe Kazana, the only ones left over, right? You developed some friendships, and that friendship, of course, with Joe Kazana.
Yeah.
But getting into our next question with Jackson, as far as friendships developing and things like that, being in that school, and I know, what year was it, or around?
Probably about 86.
Would you ever have imagined at that point in time that you would have gone as far as you have gone? And then, of course, with Joe, meeting all these guys. Well, I'm going all the way back to where there was like 20 some odd guys. Did you ever think that all of those guys could have made it at some point, or were you guys the toughest out of those two? How in the world did you guys connect after that training was over?
I don't know. I think we just had the heart for it and the desire to want to be a professional wrestler.
Yes. And speaking of friendships, Jackson Black we know about, and we're going to be going into it here a little bit, but training for you, how in the world did you begin to get a process in your mind of actually becoming a pro wrestler? What was your, what did you have to do? What did you do to, of course, look up wrestling schools, and then what made you decide you wanted to come to Knoxville?
Oh, yeah, I was already here.
Yes.
And I'm just lucky. It's like literally 25 minutes from my house.
Yes.
So I didn't have to come out of state. A lot of these people came from a different state and stayed here for 3 months, then went back to their state. I didn't have to do that. I was already here. I found out about it on, I think it was a news story, because I looked it up, and then I was going to start in April and COVID hit, so they canceled the class, and then I went in the next April, and like he said, I think there was like 13 of us, and then one of us left like day one. And then we got like 6 weeks in, and then it would only be like 5 or 6 of us. And then towards the end, I think it was like 4. But, oh, surprise, everybody showed up at the graduation.
Yes.
Every person was like, oh yeah, look at my boots. And I was like, okay.
So back in the day, Tom, guys, they would pay to train. How much was, and you don't have to share with us if you don't want, how much was it to train?
It wasn't too bad back then. You probably wound up having about $500 or $600 in training at the time.
That's a great deal.
And it was basically, you'd pay your trainer every week when you'd show up to work out. And we probably had about 3 months into it, working out once or twice a week, depending. Sometimes it wasn't all in the ring. Sometimes we would get on the aerobics room floor at the gym and stuff like that. I mean, it was an unforgettable experience that I wouldn't take nothing for.
Now, when you think back to that time period, back then, and there's been some talk now that just people just go into a school and they get trained and then they go and they try to do shows. Back then, though, especially with Rick Connors, he made sure, I think, that you were and I don't know if that to be true, if guys just pay and train and they're done, or how was it with Rick Connors? Did you pay him, it's all good, or did he make sure?
Here's one story about training. Some guys that I work with, I won't mention their name, but they're getting ready to move out from wherever they were living at, their apartment. All their stuff's packed up and everything. The guy comes in, hands him the money to get trained. He shows him how to lock up, and then he's loading his moving van in. You know, stuff like that happens in this business. Some of the boys, you know, are a little untrustworthy. You know, you want to guard your wallet.
Yeah. Well, you know, Jackson Black, in the present time, of course, with Insane Dane, going into a wrestling school, it's a lot more expensive. I mean, if you don't mind sharing, how much was it to?
It was not 600. It was like, I paid all up front. So I think there was like a little bit that got taken off. It was like almost like $2,500.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I wouldn't change it though, cause like at all, cause like I learned so much, so much there, and I didn't even believe after graduation I was ready. I did another like, I think 4 months before I ever took one booking.
Mm-hmm.
And like the classes, it's like intensive 3 months. Like you train Monday, Tuesday for 4 hours. Wednesday's a little break. You do promo and character development, and then Thursday, Friday is more training. And then you have to add in your gym time for all. It was a lot. I was falling asleep places because they had to work too the whole time. Like some of those people are lucky enough. They're like, "Oh, yeah, I don't have to work," and I was like, "What's that like?" Must be nice.
So you guys, Tom, you guys did training how often during the back in the days?
Well, when we were breaking in, you'd probably say about twice a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you guys now, I mean, doing
four in ring and then 1 promo, so 5 days a week.
Man, a lot. A big difference.
And you see where they had the wrestling school, they were also putting on a show there.
Yeah.
So we all automatically had a shoe in place to work. So when we're getting to work, that's basically part of our training, where we're learning our psychology, how to work the crowd. And we were trained, you know, if you had to defend yourself, if it turned into an out-and-out shoot, you were going to be able to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm. When you guys were doing training back then, I know there's a lot of individuals that personally they'll come up to me, ring announcer wrestling shows. They'll say, "How can I get in this business?" And it could be a whopper of a person with muscles
you never
and everything
know.
else.
I've seen really big guys move beautifully in the ring, so you never know.
And Tom, it's a lot easier now to get into the wrestling business than it used to be back then.
Well, per se, before a lot of accredited wrestling schools were around, you may have my brother's in the wrestling business. I got trained by my cousin, my nephew, this and that.
I trained myself on TV.
Yeah, I watched it on television. I'm doing it up here, breaking fluorescent bulbs, this sort of thing. But I put it this way, Bob Rube, he's a very great collegiate Romo Greco type wrestler. He did a lot of training for Florida Championship Wrestling. And basically the deal was when you broke in the business, they wanted to run you off. They didn't want you in the business. They'd take your money, but they're going to beat the H-E-double-L out of you and send you on your way.
And you and Joe Kazana, the only ones that survived.
Yeah, we survived. And, you know, Joe took me over to his grandmother's house, which his grandfather was the late John Kazana, and that's the first time I ever got to eat caviar. Was at the Kazana's.
Yes. Very
Fish
fancy.
eggs, Dave.
Oh,
you
yeah.
He knows about it. He's a pirate. He lives in the sea.
Jackson, speaking of classmates, you know, graduating from JPWA was a great success for you, but let's talk about these classmates, those that you were introduced. Of course, Tom mentioned Joe Kazana and others, but who are some classmates that you were introduced to, and how have those friendships flourished?
I'm friends with 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't last. Like everybody, I don't understand what happened. They just decided this is going to be like a bucket list thing. I'm like, oh, I want to go learn how to wrestle, and spend a ton of money on it, and then never ever ever do a show. which I didn't get. This one kid tried to bury me in a promo, and he's like, do, and I was like, dude, I'll bury you under this damn ring. Take this. I was like, you can't even take a bump, and you're up here talking crap. This isn't a promo class. That kid got the heat. He didn't come back after me. After that.
So many that you were in class with, of course, Jen Williams.
Jen is working. Kelsey Magnolia is working. Big shout out. Who else? Otisis Green, kind of, sort of. Landon Ayers is taking a break. So I guess there was like 4. I can't think of anybody else who's doing anything.
So what makes you all 4 individuals kind of stick out amongst all the others that were there in your class? I mean, was there...
I mean, you could just tell. Like, we would be talking about wrestling. I remember there's a person in our class that like almost broke my nose on a leapfrog. And I was like, you can do it. No, that person couldn't. Anyways, what was I saying? I got distracted.
Just
lost in thought.
How did you guys, all 4, the guys and gals, all 4 kind of stand out amongst all the others?
If you know who Kelsey Magnolia is, you'll know why she stands out. She looks like she fell into a highlighter box, which is awesome. I love it. Jen is Jen. OT, I just don't know who's like doing it to do it or who's just like hobbying it. OT's done it. Landon Ayers, great. He's taken some time off, but those are the people that have continued to work.
And then of course you have the opportunity now to work with those Kelsey Magnolia. Not as
I haven't
often
got
as you
to
want
work with her yet.
But, these are 4 individuals, of course, that's stuck. And Insane Dane, of course, and JPWA.
Dane's from a different class.
At a different class. And do you think your coming to as far as your class?
They had a good class.
Who are some individuals that kind of stick out in your mind as far as friendships that flourished?
Yeah, I think like out of all the JPWA classes, I think we had one of the best ones. We started off with a lot of people. We only lost about 2 or 3. People like Onyx still wrestling, Chris Cade still wrestling, Will Kennedy.
Kennedy!
Man, there was a lot of people in that class.
Yeah, again, a lot of them
that's just
working.
like off the top of my head, but I mean, I'm sure there's a handful more in that class. That Wayne Moxie, great wrestler. I don't know, there's a lot of people.
There was a lot in that class.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's the greatest class, because that one of those classes got us like all beat. And that's the one that has like WWE signees and stuff.
So who was the toughest class in your all's opinion? Was it
I'd say
your class or
toughest
his?
in terms of what?
Toughest as far as the talent.
I'd say the first class that probably went in there was like probably the toughest, because that was like, I think that was like Jake Tucker, that was like Dylan McQueen, I think Max was in that class, but they got to get beat up by Sheamus, so like he went and did he was sweating bullets. If you haven't seen the video, check it out. He's beating up people.
Well, fans, this interview is going to continue. We're going to go to a quick break, and when we return, more questions. Of course, this is our 15th episode celebration with Jackson Black. Our special guest tonight, Dave Jones, Tom the Bomb Pittner, and then, of course, our man of the hour, Jackson Black, and Andy Optimal and Insane Dane. We'll be right back in just a moment, right here on this very special Wrestle Talk exclusive. We're not live. Welcome back here to Wrestle Talk. We are on location here at Pop Culture Autographs and Collectibles, and our friend back here, Michael James, is working hard on some projects, and folks stop by here, Kimberlin Heights, right behind Burger King, and they've got some pretty interesting gems in here, to say the least. And come stop by. Michael, a great conversationalist, loves to really engage with customers, and as a matter of fact, since we've been in here, he's sold some pretty cool stuff, and you can find some cool stuff here at Pop Culture Autographs and Collectibles in Kimberley Heights in Knoxville, right here on Chapman Highway. Back into our interview segment, Jackson Black. When in the world did this Jackson Black character begin to develop? And character, persona, what is the
It's
deal?
just me turned to 11. There's not a... There might be a... No. That's me. It's just me.
Turn to 11.
Turn to 11.
Yes.
Because it's hard to do fake.
That could be true. And
I don't know. I find it is.
Jackson Black, as
Yep,
you
that's my name.
have continued, of course, your graduation in 2021, and we'll be talking about that in just a little bit. As you've been traveling, as you continue to do shows, how popular do you think this character has been amongst fans? Who or the
0.
demographics?
0%. Everybody hates it.
Everybody hates it. Yes.
Everybody just.
They love the Insane Dane.
No one loves anybody. Everybody hates on everything.
Yes.
Just kidding. People cheer.
So who inspired? And I know that you.
Who inspired me?
Who inspired this Jackson Black character?
Ooh.
It doesn't have to be wrestling. It could be anything.
It's probably wrestling. I'll tell you. I don't know. Inspired? No, nobody. Somebody. I'm not sure who. I can't say I took it from anywhere. I took maybe a couple of things. I'd say I'm just loud.
Yes.
I don't know.
That's
I could say who it was, but I'm not gonna give it away. My last name kind of is like a. If you can guess whose name that was on the Indies, then maybe you might get it.
Yeah.
Do you know who it was?
No, I have no idea.
No?
It's Tyler Black.
It's Tyler Black.
Tyler Black.
Do you know who Tyler Black is?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Seth freaking Rollins, okay?
So getting into your matches. So where was your
All were
first
trash.
ever match? Where did it take place, and what did you do?
I don't call it a match. I guess the graduation was like... No, it wasn't even that. It was like the Battle Royale with Andy.
Yeah, where I trained at.
RWA. So now the classes this same time they graduate. Actually, they had a graduation not too long ago. They actually ended up doing a match or a battle royal, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
so
that's
this particular ceremony, you guys did not do anything like that.
No, we did there was a battle royal and like 2 matches. And I swear, like I'm one of 3 people that have continued to wrestle, and I literally got booted out number 2 in the battle royal. I was like, oh cool, thanks. Thanks, bud.
So thinking about your first singles match, who was your first opponent?
Oh, I think his name was Zach Austin. It was like that Tennessee All-Pro. And I almost passed out, and then like I threw up. I almost threw up. I almost peed myself. It's still the same. Like every match is, I hate 15 seconds before. Like when my music hits, I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
I can attest to this. He looks like a nervous wreck.
And then, right when I step out, it's different. Like right when you go through, it's a completely different thing. It's all gone. But in the back, especially like when you debut somewhere, like I'll be in my car until like I figure out who I'm wrestling, and then I'll talk to them a little bit, and then I'll go back to my car, and come back when the show starts.
So how in the world so your very first show, where was the show at? Who was it for?
It was in Morrison, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And I got beat by like what was like I'm not gonna no joke, straight shoot. It was like the best Texas cloverleaf I've ever been in my life. Like throwback move, and it was like perfect. Nailed it.
And how'd you get connected with this show, being your first
So
show?
I literally was like, hey. I gave him the whole spiel like, oh my name's this, and I've been wrestling since never. This is gonna be my first match. So but I've been training for this long, and I literally got no send me a tape or anything. They're like, all right, come up, we'll book you every week. I swear, I didn't have to. I had no tape to send.
Tom, have you been in circumstances like that where you're getting started and you're like, I'm available, let me come and
Always bring your
work?
gear.
Yeah, always bring your gear, whether it's any event, because you never know when you might be used. But you know, you guys have got a whole advantage, far more than what I had when I broke in, because
We have the
you
internet.
had the internet now, and you know, hell, we were lucky to have a pager then. So I mean, there wasn't really reaching out. If you put a cassette together, you had to mail it to somebody. There wasn't no pulling it up online, emailing it to them.
So easy now.
So if you're in Knoxville, what was the farthest back then that you ever went and traveled to work a show?
Probably Bluefield, West Virginia.
So how in the world did they communicate with you to do this show?
Well, you went through the booking office.
Mm-hmm.
That was, of course, doing jobs for WCW or NWA at the time.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so nowadays with technology, it's changed a lot because being a promoter myself, I know that a lot of communication is done through social media, through emails, and Back in the day, you just had a pager and a phone booth.
And then
so
that goes back to your trainer getting you bookings. They would want a percentage, a piece of it for going,
Luckily, my
whether-
trainer has not asked for that yet.
Well, you may have a trainer like I had that you drive the car down there, but he's taking the trans money.
All right. So, in your opinion on that first match, how did it go? What happened?
It's probably trash. Oh yeah, I do remember. It was trash. So it went good. We did the shine. I blew the comeback. I didn't hit anything. I immediately got like clothesline and put in a clover leaf, and that was the end. So it was like 6 minutes. So it was like tiny shine, heat, blew the comeback, go home.
Yes.
It was just not good.
So presently, you work with so many great
Still
promotions.
trash. It's still trash.
Now, and 127 Pro Wrestling in Grimsley, of course, fans have seen Insane Dane, Andy Optimal up there, and this is, of course, has been a groundbreaking part of your so far of your career, and being up there with Draven Lee, Chris Hensley, and some of the others.
Toby Farley.
Toby Farley.
Toby Farley.
What kind of what has really impressed you with those that you've worked with at 127?
Out of like everybody that I've worked with, my favorite person up there besides like Andy is Riley Rocket, because that girl she gives bips and bops and boobs. I don't know if I could understand her in the ring if we were like walking and talking, but like she's really good, like really really good. I would beat her up if like we wrestled. Like I wouldn't beat her up; she'd probably beat me up, but like I would wrestle her for sure. She'd probably outwork me too.
Now, Tom, women wrestlers back in the day, and you worked with a few women. I don't know if you've been in a match with with a women
No,
wrestlers.
we never did have a mixed tag match or anything like that I was involved in.
Now, something like that back then was kind of unheard of, I would imagine, or maybe just didn't happen very often.
Well, if it did, you could really get a lot of heat off of it if you worked it the right way.
Yeah.
But Riley Rocket, one of the best, one of the greats here, and a young lady, but really doing great things, and so excited for her. But 127 has been a kind of a platform for you recently, because it's one of the shows that you've really worked the most on. Tennessee All Pro Wrestling, as mentioned before. You've even had a stint here recently with a promotion that just started, K-Town Championship Wrestling. And what is it like beginning this process of working more shows, doing more as far as in being a while back you were sending out messages saying, hey, use me on a show, having people contact you now. What's it like? Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yes.
I don't know. I still reach out to the same amount of people as I always did.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. I just like to work. Eventually, I'm not meant for here. I've said it a million times. I'm not meant to be here. I'm trying to go to Japan. That's where I want to be. I'll young boy for somebody. I don't care. I'll hold your bags and get your food.
Well, speaking of
let me go to Bullet Club, baby.
Speaking of Japan, you and I have spoke a few times, and this is one of your great dreams or aspirations, going to Japan. And what about Japan really stands out?
Have you seen Japanese wrestling?
Yes, it's amazing.
That is what. Or I'll go to the UK too. Have you seen European wrestling?
Oh yes.
That's like right up my alley. Zack Sabre Jr. is like my wrestling god.
And who, if you were at some point to make it out there, who would be some individuals?
Zack Sabre Jr.
Yes.
In Japan, Will Ospreay. Hiroshi Tanahashi. That would be fire. I mean, there's any Naito. You pick anybody from New Japan would be awesome. All of Bullet Club, Jay White, Tonga Loa, those guys. Everybody's great out there. I want Bryan Danielson, if it's ever possible, would be great.
Oh yes.
I like the technicians. Like if I could wrestle Dean Malenko right now, let's go. I would get beat up, but like I would do it.
Well, Dean Malenko, you know, Tom Pittner and Insane Dane. How tall are you, Insane Dane?
Tall.
6'6".
6'6". Tom Pittner, you are
6'1".
Gosh, 3-inch lift, baby. 5'11", coming your way.
Jackson Black and Andy Optimal. You know, there's some great wrestlers who are under the 6 foot, 5'7", 5'8". Even
There's
some
a lot of great
shorter.
wrestlers now that are.
Whew. And I think back in the day, and honestly, I grew up in the '90s watching wrestling. Wrestlers were big,
Yeah.
tall, muscle,
Especially in like
big.
especially in the WWF, because you would see, he had that. Remember, he had that like bodybuilding show thing.
Mm.
Awful, but that was the thing.
And a big reason, Tom Pittner. There was a lot of guys back in the day who had these characters. Memphis Mafia, for example. They had this dark, scary characters, but you were just Tom Pittner. And
Yeah, I am Tom Pitt.
You're Tom
Pitt.
I own my name.
But Tom Pittner itself, that's a persona more so than a character, and very similar, of course, to Jackson Black, to Insane Dana, and the Optimal. These characters don't necessarily make you, but your persona is standing out, your character there. So very similar as far as that's concerned with both of you guys. And I would love to see a lot more of that this day and time. I know a lot of The Undertaker. The Undertaker's a character, right? Also, guys like Kane, a character. Then, but you have like Seth Rollins. You have people just simple, use first and last names, but they do great things in the ring. They have this persona that sticks out more so
See the suits?
than a
Suits? Enough
character.
said.
And
I wish I had that many suits.
well, Jackson Black. Let's
That's
talk
me.
about Wrestle Talk a little bit.
I do that also. This is that.
We have a couple of stories here. Some fans actually submitted some of these questions to us, and we appreciate that.
Did you put the ones that were from Rockwood? Because I'm not answering them.
Yeah, those are probably the ones that were not answered the most.
Yep.
But, so Jackson Black, Wrestle Talk, exactly from your vantage point, what happened there? How in the world did you become a part of Wrestle Talk?
I just messaged you and I was like, hey, how do I become a guest? And then I was like, I saw it and I was like, this could be something else. And then you got the idea and then I was like, okay, well I'm gonna make it something even bigger. And so I started bringing on the younger wrestlers and like the up and coming talent, because it gives them their first like platform. Because I was like, I know I needed that and I know I sucked my first time, but now I can interview anybody. It's awesome, and you got to know when to shut up, because I don't. You just ask them a question and let them. Except for Rex Riley, was the absolute worst interview I've ever had in my life. He had as much charisma as you could fit in a thimble. Okay? He was like watching paint dry as a person. That was him.
Oh my!
He called in the show last night, and I had to tell him to shut up. But he found some charisma, and I'm so proud of you. You got a T-shirt out that someone's gonna buy in your family, I hope. That's all I got to say about that. Now, what was the question? I went off on a tangent there, and I apologize.
Well, what was it like being on that very first episode? When you arrived to the studio,
I was trash. I was super nervous. That guy next to me, Paul Buchanan, good heel work. Like that guy talks a mile a minute, and blah blah blah, whatever he said. But I never got a chance to talk. And now, like where we have it now, I like how it's going. Like we're getting good guests in there. Except for Rex Riley, or trash. But like, it's just great. I like the energy. It's a good show. We've turned it around so far. We're getting like up in the 50,000s of people viewing us now, which is not bad. You're welcome.
Well, Wrestle Talk, of course, Tom Pittner was around back in the early days, and
but they got so many more viewers.
Yes.
But it was a different time, and now there's like 7 million streaming services, so you get what you get.
And Dave Jones could attest to this. There was nights on Wrestle Talk where and I even heard from Justin recently up there, that there was easily 50 to 60,000, sometimes 100,000 viewers just for Landell, getting on there, not knowing exactly what he would say.
That phone would go off, he'd push it on, and guys say, finally! I finally got through. I've been doing this for 3 months.
Click.
Let's call.
I would do that. That's funny.
I guess the difference, in my opinion, with the guests of then and now, you have Bill Needham there. Bill Needham was one of those individuals with a highly noticeable country twang in his voice. So, Bill Needham made that program magical, because Bill Needham centered everything around professional wrestling. And Bill Needham had
As
so
it
many.
should be. It's a wrestling show.
Yes, had so many guests on there. You know, Tom Pittner and of course Mike Powers, Chris Powers, Jeff Anderson, Sammy V, and Terry, and then he had of course Ron Wright.
Yeah, Ron Wright.
And Ron Wright a little bit more toned down on Wrestle Talk than he
I
was.
remember one night we even fought right on Gay Street. Yeah.
The cinder block through his.
Yeah, Ron
through
Wright's
the ring.
vehicle. I can't even think of the guy's name that. You remember it, Dave?
No.
Tossed him in the back of the truck.
DG 2000.
That's it. Yeah.
DG 2000, man
Yeah.
alive.
I think he got it the hard way that night.
Old Derek,
Yeah,
I think
okay.
he's.
Yeah.
Had that gash on him.
Stuff
Yeah,
happens.
something else.
Now, back in the day with Wrestle Talk, a lot more, you could get away with a lot more. I mean, it's just
can't
like
get away
with
with
regular TV. I mean, back in the 70s, you had like, we're off, a little bit off wrestling here, but you had Sanford and Son, you had the Jeffersons, you had All in the Family back in the 70s. And TV, this was TV back then.
I know of 2 of those shows.
so-
You know why? Because it's on my T-shirts.
Yeah. But same with Wrestle Talk. I mean, this was 1997, so still back then,
It's prime cartoon time.
a lot could go on television. I mean, I know many a times you've been on TV, and it wasn't nothing for you to call somebody a sweat hog or a redneck or a groundhog.
Oh yeah.
And this day and time, it's a little bit different.
No, you can still call them that. You can still call them that. None of those were bad, I don't think.
It's definitely changed over the years, but the tradition has been kept there. And so Jackson Black, of course, at a point in time, producers of Wrestle Talk asked you to become a co-host. And, previous co-hosts, Dave Jones, Sammy V, Larry Allison, way back in the day. What was it like stepping in? And you were not too familiar with Wrestle Talk. We've watched some videos and things over here the past few months online. But what was it like stepping into that co-host? And you already had a lot of plans, brought a lot of things in, and you mentioned before scheduling guests, things like that. So what was it like for you stepping into that co-host?
Oh.
And what exactly? I mean, what is it that you think has really? You and I said the show has kind of turned around 180 degrees.
Yep, you got it right that
So-
time. He tried to say 360.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, then we end up at the same place we started.
So what exactly with you coming on? What did you bring to the show?
Well, we got together and we decided that the graphics were trash, so we had to get rid of those because it looked like 1996 threw up. And I don't know. If you look at the intro from the first to where it's at now, I mean the intros is light years ahead of what it was. We were like a PTA meeting that had everything is better. I'm not trying to I'm not saying it was me. But there's that dog again. We came back and we're good. We're good now. We got it segmented. We have enthusiastic guests except for Rex Riley, no charisma. I just like the way it works. We get to highlight the indie shows around the area, so you people can't say, I can't afford to go to a WWE show. Then go to an indie show. It's like $10.
Mm-hmm.
And bring your kids, and usually it's like your delinquent children gets in for the same price as you getting in. So
Yeah, it's more interactive.
And Wrestle Talk, we do catch a lot of heat. And Tom Pittner could attest
just
to
don't
this.
slash my tires, please.
It has changed a little bit. Tom being up there, the very first episode, we wouldn't have been able to get through that episode without Tom Pittner being up there. Honestly,
You'd have done just fine without me.
But kind of stepping into Wrestle Talk, and this is a different story, different situation. But right before Terry passed, about a week before, we spoke on the phone, and Terry knew that Dave and I were doing Wrestle Talk, and kind of asked for Terry's blessing, and Terry was like, I'd love for you to continue. He didn't say it that way. You know how Terry was. He said, I liked it. Hope you keep it going, things like that. Terry kind of, at that point in time, asked, hey, could you continue Wrestle Talk? And we were ever so happy to do that. And I was trying to think at that point, who in the world could we bring on the program consistently that would keep that tradition, of course, from way back when. And Jackson Black, his very first week on the program, as mentioned before, silent, quiet, but then you
Call
kind
me
of
the
broke
garbage
out.
man because I was bringing out the trash.
Yes. but I think that that character enthusiasm came out. And what is that exactly? Is it like working with me on air? What is it like working? And you can throw some things out, but
It's very easy. It's a very easy show to do. Sometimes we forget that we're talking. Like last night we had the Stew Crew on. I was talking to them. I usually only go 10 minutes. I think we end up going 20 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I like the show. It's great. We get to, like I said, give those people a platform so some people can see them, hopefully.
So what are one or two moments from Wrestle Talk that have been your favorite moments so far in the 15 episodes that you've done?
David Penzer one was pretty cool. Michelle Green was good on there.
This was Michelle Green's show, she said.
She was confused. She even tried to take my tagline. She was like, "Always bet on green." I was like, "No, that's not right. It's always bet on black." No, I don't really have any. Oh, Dane was there when I wasn't there, which I didn't even get to talk to him. We brought Jamile on.
Yes.
He dressed like what's the guy? Richie Rich.
Yes. Definitely an interesting episode, and fans.
I called from the bath. I was in the bath.
Yeah.
When I called.
This is atrocious. No, it was a good program. Jamile, of course, we mentioned a couple of names here. Jamile works with JPWA, a great professional wrestler, trained, of course, and
I'm trying to work up a thing where I can get to go beat him up because I like to beat him up.
yes. Hey, out here at Pop Culture, you never know. We can probably arrange that at some.
I wish
point.
I was a lot bigger because then I could actually like put somebody's spine on the pine. I can just kick him. That'll work.
Well, with Wrestle Talk taking off the way that it has, and actually a little bit earlier today, I read some of our data, that we receive, of course, from Wrestle Talk.
I'm about to steal it. I'm about to create a nickname here like Chris Jericho. Let's go. What is it? I'm waiting on your news with dated birth.
Wrestle Talk, nowadays ratings are a little bit different based on demographics, based on parental advisory. All the shows, all of our programs are supposed to be rated TVG. That doesn't happen too often, especially with Mike Powers on the air.
Oh, they were good.
But Wrestle Talk, very popular, and we appreciate all of our great viewers. And a lot of those viewers,
except for Rockwood.
Except for
care
Rockwood.
about you.
So a couple more here. Who do you hope to have the opportunity? Actually, we're going to steal a question from your Spotlight segment. Completely random. Who is your Mount Rushmore
that's an old
wrestlers?
question.
Yes. Mount Rushmore.
Kurt Angle, Zack Sabre Jr.
On the Mount Rushmore?
Oh yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. is like the best, bro. Eddie Guerrero and all my guys are gonna be technical guys, and people are like, I guess Dean Malenko too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't got Hulk Hogan or Austin or Taker or any of those guys on there.
Well, yours.
I'm not 6'11" like all these other guys that are taller than me in this room.
Your list is a little bit. I mean, going back in the '90s, mine would be like Tom Pittner, Jeff Anderson, Dr. Dan. But you got a whole just a diverse group of guys. And me growing up around East Tennessee.
I can't even remember what I just said.
Yes.
I know Zack Sabre Jr. was on there.
Well, great wrestlers, and fans certainly look forward to seeing you live out those dreams. Going to Japan, so many great things coming up for you, and we're just excited. Funniest moment of your career so far? This could be.
Oh, this is funny.
This could
Andy
be
was there.
Moment or moment.
I think Andy was there. So I was in the ring, and I have this little 3 or 4 move combo thing that I do.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like a forearm, a spinning back kick, and there's a kick to the chest, and there's supposed to be something else. Well, so I get 1, 2. I get 2 just fine, 1 and 2. And when I go for 3, I totally slip in the ring, and I'm like this high in the air, and it's like, oh no! That was
still
probably
did
it.
get the kick in though.
I did, but it was.
You fell on your.
I fell. straight to the ground.
Insane Dane will get a kick in from anywhere in the ring.
Yeah, he got big boots. He likes to throw them around.
Yes. All right.
Him and Scooby don't.
The strangest show that you've been on and the strangest match. Where was the strangest town that you've been to?
Strangest town.
Strangest show, strangest town.
They're all strange towns.
Yes.
I would assume. Strangest match. Okay, this is like. So I was in this match, and it was like a tag team match that was set up as like. It's like single elimination, so if you get eliminated, somebody else comes out and takes your spot. Well, so what's supposed to happen is I was going to go out there, stuff was supposed to happen, then I pin somebody. Well, what didn't happen is I go out there, get kicked, hit a finisher, I'm out in 10 seconds.
Strangest thing, yeah, definitely.
That was not fun.
And the shows in Grimsley, that's when you're traveling up there, that's like Jeepers Creepers, but it's
Yeah.
There's not even
There's
a
a lot
Dollar
of-
General inside. That's very scary.
Yeah, because like if you've been on the road, there's Dollar General every like mile and a half. Grimsley is Grimsley.
Yeah. Middle of nowhere.
There's like some
Amish
people that are all right, but like the most of them, I wouldn't invite to any like cookouts that I was at.
Fair enough.
Jackson
Gene
Black.
pool is really shallow.
A lot of advice could be given to those who are wanting to consider, especially as easy, and I really do believe that it's really easy now.
Go to a school.
To get into a school. You have Dr. Tom's school, you have Ricky Morton's school, you have school with George South out in North Carolina. You have.
That's where Kenny Omega's from. North Carolina. No, I'm just kidding. You know what I'm talking about?
And so easy now, but what are your words of wisdom or some advice you would give to those who are in your shoes, wanting to consider training to be
Think about it first, because it's like a big commitment. Like, if you want to go and waste your money and just piddle your way through, I mean, you can do that. But, like, take it seriously, because it's not easy. Like, and you got to be dedicated. Like, I go to the gym all the time. I don't miss, like, too much. I would never... I'm not like the guys, like, back in the day that were doing 300 days a week. A week? That's insanity. Dane, I can't... That's crazy. Like, 300 days a year. No, I couldn't do that, because then you miss, like... you hear those stories, like, I missed this birthday, I missed this game, I missed this, and then they're like, but I got really good with my kid when they were 25. Like, that's not cool. So be really dedicated to it. Go to the gym. Stop cutting promos in the car, please. This is for everyone. Unless you're, like I said it last time, unless you're like Brian Pillmaning somebody and you're going to their house and you're like live, do not cut a car promo. It looks like trash.
I will add another one to that. Do not smoke in your promos either.
Unless you're a
That's
cowboy or something.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
good cigar.
Yeah, you can
it's a
do
cigar.
you can
get
do
away
a
with
cigar.
but not
But
a
yeah,
cigarette.
don't do your promos outside where you can hear the kids yelling about whatever and the cars going by. Do your promos right. Take your time when you get to that point. Work out, eat right, work out. Because, like, if you see it, there's a lot of underbellies. They pop out, like the shirts right here, and then the belly comes out under. Fans. No.
So a lot of questions have been sent to us, actually not just for Jackson Black, but for Insane Dane, for Tom Pittner. Wrestling gear, when considering wrestling. Back in the day, it was pretty simple wrestling gear for you guys, Tom
Yeah, we
Pittner.
call K&H and get something that looked like a professional would wear and not just a bunch of
You don't like to wear jeans
stuff.
out there?
No. Unless it was a street fight
Right?
or something,
I guess that is the thing. You had to wear jeans and then like the wife beater type thing or whatever. That's street fight clothes.
Now, back in the day, how hard was it to get connected with a gear maker? And
I feel like it's still hard.
It was K&H and B-Bar Boot Company, and you sent them your size, they were right on it.
It's
now,
awesome.
were they one of the only companies back then?
They were the main one. Their stuff was high quality stuff that was put together with a surging machine where it wasn't going to come apart when you threw it in the washer.
Yes. And
It's gear that's going to last you for a lifetime.
And back in the day, some similarities to now. A lot of wrestlers wore jackets and coats and robes, and you have a famous robe, of course, that and many over the years, but wrestling gear, getting it made, things like that. And in the 90s, I remember Jeff Anderson came out of the Wild Man saying, these guys going down to big lots and buying them some knee pads and Speedos and different things. But nowadays, so much has changed. The availability of the internet with ordering gear and things like that. Jackson Black, you have some interesting gear. And the Insane Dane, too. We're going to get to him in a second.
I'd say there's probably like 10. And out of those 10, you gotta just know who, Pro Wrestling Wear does good stuff. They do pretty much all of Impact's gear. That dude kills it. There's a lot of good ones, but you just gotta watch out because again, they're still the same thing. Instead of mailing somebody a check, you can just send it over to them and they can ghost you for 12 months and not give you your gear.
Yes.
So, that is still a main component of the game. There's a lot of pretenders that are oh, yeah, I'll make your gear. And then they're, taking pictures from other people's sites that they made this gear when they didn't make the gear.
So, Insane Dane, he has a very interesting outfit. Normally,
it does. It's got that drip.
Insane Dane, you and I talked a little bit earlier. What in the world made you consider your gear?
It reminds me of Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon. Just a tad.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up on a lot of cartoons, and I still really enjoy cartoons, and I think for me, as a kid growing up and liking wrestling, that's, the one audience that I want to cater to more than anybody, is the kids, and so to dress up how I feel, which is just like a big kid most of the time, you got the green slime from Nickelodeon, to the boots, to the bright orange, the shirt, usually it's a Rugrats shirt or something to fit what I want.
Yeah, All Real Monsters one.
Yeah. Yeah, I got all kinds, but I mean, it's stuff that I wear every day. I don't have any shame in it. It's what I enjoy.
And Andy Optimal really has done a lot breaking out as a new and upcoming star.
Yeah, he's got Kushida pants.
Kushida pants and
no.
What is it called?
Kushida. No, it's not Kushida. He's got Kazuchika Okada pants. My bad. He's got Okada pants.
They're a little sparkly.
And you guys have been doing a lot of work together recently. You and Andy, you and Insane
become
Dane.
Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. It's happening.
Just a bit.
He's going to turn on me, and then I'm going to turn on him, and then we'll get back together, and I'm going to turn on him.
That's going to be interesting to see. We got one more question for you, and fans.
Yeah.
We'll wrap this thing up tonight. Jackson Black, we know that you really, just like Michelle Green, great mind for the business, great mind for marketing, especially with the availability of the internet. She really gets herself out there. When we had her on the program, I was so impressed.
He's putting over Michelle right now.
Yes. So now marketing these days and time, and I'm actually going to go back to Tom after we speak with you here. Marketing this day and time, where can the fans find you? Where are you
everywhere. You can find me on Twitter, which I hate. I probably don't even post there enough. Instagram, _Jackson_Black. Facebook page, just look up Jackson Black. TikTok is some iteration of Jackson Black. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Post stuff there. You got to be on top of all the social media. I hear these kids are like, yeah, I got Facebook. And I was like, that sucks. Because you need to literally have them all. Because the more people see you, the more people can talk about you, the more people you can share stuff to. Social media. If you don't do it, you're a dummy.
Tom, I can only imagine Rick Connors asking you where you can be found, and you start talking about TikTok on Twitter. That's
the game now.
Marketing yourself back in the day, getting your name out there. What was it like, especially without the internet?
Marketing yourself back in the day was get you a bunch of 8x10s, a VCH tape, try to send them to a promoter, mail drop them.
Yeah. Took a little bit longer, more than a few
and
days.
you may not hear anything from them.
Yeah. I can't imagine somebody going to Rick Connors saying, hey, find me on YouTube, find me on Twitter. He'd be like, what? But definitely things have changed.
I literally heard, I watched it, I can't remember what it's from. I think it's from Now. D'Lo Brown literally watches tape that people send him until 4:30 in the morning sometimes. He just stays up the whole night. And he goes, but how do you get recognized? And he goes, do stuff that somebody's not doing.
Yeah.
Which, everybody should do that.
Yeah. Now that you've stepped into the role of not just a wrestler, but doing a lot more with TV and things. What are some of your plans with Wrestle Talk? What's some of your plans moving forward? I know that you have a great, and so many of you, a great experience, especially with Tom Pittner. Tom Pittner, I know firsthand, you've worked a lot with promoters. I know that at times you've probably given advice to promoters on who to use on shows, even getting talent yourself on shows. Back in the day, helping out, and especially with TV, I know you did some TV. What was it like back then when Rick Connors or someone, anyone that comes to mind were to ask you, hey, give me a guy or two for this? Was it a strenuous project trying to get out and find these guys?
I remember, for instance, with Rick Connors calls me up one night that some guys promoting a show down in Lenore City, and it was one of the guys that started training, dropped out of training. He had some nice pink boots and pretty spandex pink trunks, tights, and the promoter books him because a lot of promoters aren't smart to the business, but they're wanting to be a wrestling promoter. So Connors is booked on this show, and he says, hey, come down here and work. I got this guy. I want you to stretch. Okay, I'll be down there. But there's a lot of good talent out there. A lot of good talent. And I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of guys that were away from the big show, and the territories were folding up, and, they still had to work here in the Tennessee area. From Buddy Landell, Hector Guerrero, Eddie Guerrero. Heck, those guys worked for me when I promoted the show. And, of course, Jimmy Golden. You've got Tim Horner out of Morristown, Mongolian Stomper. He was a legend around here. If you weren't from this area, look him up on YouTube. He's got some great stuff out there, a lot of these old guys. And if you're really wanting a technical wrestler, look up some of Carl Gotch's stuff.
Yeah.
And he's a badass.
Yeah.
And back in the day, of course, here, and wrestling crowds back in the day, of course, and we're going to wrap things up in a little bit, but wrestling crowds back then were a little bit easier to attract. Now, because, before the pandemic, I was working about 4 or 5 nights a week, honestly, like sometimes Wednesday through Sunday, Thursday through Sunday. Everywhere we went, even then, there was 100, 200, 300 fans. Now, and especially back in your day, 500, 600,000. Nowadays, going to a show, maybe 30 or 40, and it's hard. Really, things have changed quite a bit since that time, and it's definitely harder to attract the crowds. But these guys, especially Jackson Black, doing a great job. Really, anywhere Insane Dane, Andy Optimal, Jackson Black. Even if you were on a show, it would attract some fans out. But a little bit harder now. This day and time, but I understand what you mean. It's getting out, getting talent.
Right now, I'm the dinosaur in the business. This is a young man's game.
Yes.
And there's a time when a guy's got to lay it down, but even at 57 years old, I could probably reinvent myself and come back under a hood and get another run out of it. I might get another 20 years out of the business. You can't ever tell.
Mike Jackson. He's like, what, 70?
Yeah.
Jackson Black, taking on the responsibilities of Wrestle Talk, what are some of those responsibilities? And as I asked you before, what are your plans exactly for the future with Wrestle Talk and with any other thing that you...
Well, I just want to get the caliber of the guests up more, and then I want to get onto a broader scope, like a bigger audience, which would entail us leaving where we're at to go somewhere else. Like if we get on like a Fox Sports or something like that, that would be really cool. That's the goal. That's like the idea. Don't want to be stuck, and then we can go nationwide and then talk to everybody.
Well, it's going to be exciting, and we look forward to it. Jackson Black, we celebrate you tonight. We appreciate you. And fans, what a great night this has been. A special thank you, of course, to Dave Jones, Tom, the Bomb Pittner, from right here, actually, in this area.
Yeah,
and
just right down the road.
also tonight, Insane Dane. And then Andy Optimal, a special thank you to, of course, Dave Jones, a young lady out here.
Donna Crest.
Yes, has been helping us with camera, Jeremiah. But this has been our 15th celebration episode of Jackson Black, and congratulations once again. Many great weeks ahead. They always say the greatest is the days ahead, right? And so we look forward to everything coming up real soon. And special thank you, of course, to Pop Culture Autographs and Collectibles here on Chapman Highway here in Knoxville. Special thank you, of course, to Michael and Marie for opening up their business to us tonight. And what a cool place this is. I think it's easy to come in here and get lost, Michael. I'm not real sure.
You could definitely do it very easy.
But lots of great things, fans. Stop by here right behind Burger King on Chapman Highway inside of the old Kmart and Kroger's shopping center. And it's a great place to be. By the way, August 3rd, you'll see Insane Dane in action, Andy Optimal, Jackson Black, and so many others will be here. A free show, 7:30. Bring your lawn chairs out. We have a lot of great things planned. Actually, a very special Hall of Fame presentation with some of the legends here in the area.
And boots to people.
And it's going to be exciting. 5 big matches on the card that night. And I believe that you have some of those matches in mind a little bit here. So what are some of the things we'll see?
You'll see the people we mentioned.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yes. Well, fans, this has certainly been an interesting...
I'll give you one.
Yes.
It's that guy right there.
Yes.
First, the repugnant, the revolting Rex Riley. And I hope you lose, Rex. Like, I really do.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
If you got a problem with him, I'll take care of it.
Take care of him, buddy.
Take care of him.
Because I'm gonna take care of him too.
Well, the next time we'll be bringing a Wrestle Talk exclusive your way is when we're bringing it with, of course, the natural Chase Stevens. And that's going to be here in just a few weeks. And, of course, a special thank you to Agenda Home Video for producing this.
I didn't even know that.
Yes, our next one. So I don't know if you'll get some roast planned for...
No, I'm not trying to get punched in the face.
Chase will definitely have some roast planned for all of us. And
well, he can do them. I'm not getting punched.
We're going to have another panel here, of course, and we'll have many of these folks joining us again. But, guys, we'll wrap things up tonight. Final thoughts on the 15th celebration for Jackson Black. Dave Jones, tonight, final thoughts. Any shout-outs, by the way?
Hey, everybody, and 15, man, just keep going, one at a time, add them up.
And then you get the sum total, and then there's your number.
I like that end game you're talking about, the universe and beyond.
Yes.
Tom, the Bomb Pittner, thank you for being here tonight.
Glad to be here, guys.
Any shout-outs tonight right here on the program?
Shout out to all the wrestling fans that ever bought a ticket, sat in the seat, even if it was at a free show where you didn't have to pay. I didn't make much on those shows. Who cares? I enjoy entertaining you guys.
Andy Optimal.
August 3rd, be here. That's it.
Boom.
Insane. They call him Insane. Actually, I see his hospital, but I'm just kidding. Insane Dane, thanks for being here
It's
tonight.
not yet.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Can you shut up while I'm talking?
Yes, sir.
No, shout out to my family that I didn't mention on the last episode. Thank you for watching. And like he mentioned the date one more time because I
August
forget.
3rd.
August the 3rd. Be here because I'll be in action. He will be in action.
Action
Jackson Blackson.
Hey.
Whatever his name
Action
is.
Jackson Blackson.
August 3rd.
That'd be a funny name.
Fans, it's a great honor, of course, to bring you this very special exclusive tonight. What a great honor it has been to work with Jackson Black. And,
You're welcome.
Many things coming up soon. Be sure to join us Wednesday nights live at 7 p.m. Eastern on KCM TV Knoxville. Each week we'll bring you not only a professional wrestling legend during Personality Profile, but we'll bring you a new and upcoming star during a spotlight along the path. And tonight we have put Jackson Black in the spotlight, and it's been a tremendous pleasure, of course, speaking.
It's not even that bright. It's like, it's kind of like where I belong.
Yes, and the light definitely not bright. Thankful for that as in the studio, but we're excited for everything coming up, fans. Make your plans to be a part of it again, August 3rd, right here in Knoxville.
August 3rd, brother!
And right here on Chapman Highway, you'll see everything set up right outside here. We're going to have a big night, a memorable night, wrestling action. We're going to be bringing you, of course, some of the stars that have appeared on Wrestle Talk, and, of course, others mentioned, legendary wrestlers and more, so make your plans to be a part of that. Right here, August 3rd at Pop Culture Autographs and Collectibles on Chapman Highway, 7:30 p.m. You can find more information, of course, on our social media page, Wrestle Talk live. But for now, fans, the old clock on the wall says it's time to go. But thank you for joining us tonight for this very special Wrestle Talk exclusive celebrating 15 episodes with Jackson Black. For now, good night. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on Wrestle Talk Live.